Yes, people at FJTV. So this, I'm going to do my best to get to the little illustrations behind me that I've done for this video. Because sun's going down, the light's going to get darker and darker, so I'm going to get straight into this. You can see by the title, Kundalini or Raising the Kundalini. Shout out my brother today who obviously sending each other voice notes, and he mentioned it, and then we were sending a few backwards and forwards, and I said, bro, you're a genius, because that's clicked a few things in my mind that I can talk about in a YouTube video, because I know I needed to do an updated semen retention one. So staying on that train of thought straight away, it's your cerebrospinal fluid. Now obviously call Kundalini, you can visualise it as energy. Again, I know I'm preaching to the choir for most of this, so I'm not going to mulch over some of the obvious basic stuff that you've probably seen 100 times, whether it's on YouTube, your Instagram, whatever, TikTok, all of that. Yeah, I ain't got TikTok. I refuse to download it. But cool. As I said, your cerebrospinal fluid. So this is literally the essence of, like they say, you know, the sleeping serpent, you know, spiral, and don't let that go over your head. Of course, it's a spiral symbology. And then as you awaken, it snakes its way up. And then obviously you awaken your higher centers, your third eye, your crown. I'm going to touch on the chakra systems as well, but let me keep it moving. So first and foremost, I've got my notes to my left, and obviously then, like I said, I've got a bit behind me. First thing to get straight into, like I said, with the semen retention, I know I say the same sort of stuff, which, like I said, you already know this, yeah, in your heart and in your mind. Anytime I say something, it resonates because you know this at the quantum level, if you like. Cool. As I'm saying, once you start to awaken, you realise, okay, yeah, cool, I can't be, you know, watching the you-know-what, and I'll get to that later in the video. Obviously, I've got to be retaining, but then this is, like I said, man, I apologise for keep switching hands, but it's going to happen. This was straight away from the inception of this FJTV YouTube channel. I was saying I'm seeing too many people in this quote-unquote semen retention community. They're like, they get to a certain level of awakening and they'll either jump to, well, you know, every now and then you need to, you know, it's not a relapse because you're resetting the system. And I knew in my heart, I thought, that's cope, that's bullshit, that's just deluding yourself, yeah. Now, another thing as well, in this matrix simulation, which what we're in, you make the rules. So anyone could turn around and say, this is what I'm thinking here, this is what I'm going to verbalise, this is how I live my life. And as we know, that'll be the natural culmination of events. However, there is levels to this, and there is levels to the game. And 99% of what I'm going to talk about today, I figured out, it clicked in my own mind. Like I said, bruv, the same videos you've probably seen on YouTube, the same videos you see on Instagram, or the memes that people have created and whatnot. Some of the stuff I'm going to mention for obvious reasons because it's part of this topic. But a lot of it was little pieces of the puzzle clicking in my mind to realise I can't just retain. It isn't just holding it in like you're holding in a piss, and it's like that pressure is pushing on the dam, pushing on your pelvic floor, and you either have a wet dream, you either relapse yourself, when you probably didn't even intend to. You're probably thinking, you know what, let me not watch the pixels, then I'm horny, then I'm thinking this, then next thing you know, hey, the little snake, and I'm not saying little for that reason, but you know what I'm saying, bruv? Your little head, not your big head, starts to, yeah? Jokes, banter, putting that to one side, keeping it moving, yeah? Again, moving on from that, or obviously, yeah, cool, you know, with women and whatnot, but I'm going to put the celibacy to one side for now, and I'm going to touch on the tantra, if time permits. I'm not going to set myself a time limit for this one. I know in my last video I said 10 minutes, and it was almost double that at 18 minutes, but let me keep it going. Understanding, like I said, it's the fluid in your system. So how to actually raise it. Okay, cool, meditation. Okay, cool, Kundalini yoga, and I'm going to touch on that as well. But as I'm saying, as much as this is a fake, illusory world, this isn't even real. It's not even physical. Yeah, if we keep zooming in and in to the atoms and whatnot, eventually they're just pixels and it's just empty space. Yeah, again, keeping it going. Like I said, there is an actual science to raising it through your intro abdominal pressure. That's why people always talk about the belly breathing. That's why people always talk about, I know, like I said, with your pelvic floor, me personally, I don't believe you should always be clenching it really tight, because it's not like most other muscles in your body that you can stretch them easily. This is, again, when I talk about the testicle breathing and I talk about the breath work, because it isn't a case of clenching up really tight your pelvic floor. Yeah, you can do that if you want. But my thing is when you really breathe and you're pushing in that pressure, the pressure is going to push down, pushing from the inside out onto your pelvic floor. Then obviously when your lungs are fully filled, you can clench if you want to really tense and, like I said, get that pressure that's then going to go all the way up through your spine. The cerebrospinal fluid and that energy is going to push through into your brain, lubricate your brain, and obviously awaken your higher centers, your third eye, your crown chakra. Obviously it'd be third eye, then your crown chakra in terms of, upwards trajectory. Again, I'll say what I'm going to say because then that can lead me to the next point here. Quick bit of info, because little anecdote, from knee high I was obsessed with animal documentaries and nature documentaries. I found it fascinating. My mum would always say, I don't mind buying books for you and your sister, so anytime we went places and they had books for sale, specifically non-fiction stuff, she was like, get what you want. So for me it was always just nature stuff. Love to read, absorb all that information, bro. It's literally in the bookshelf. I remember being at pub quizzes years later, a question gets answered, everyone's like, and it's literally my brain goes, download that bit of information, say it out loud. Cool. One thing that I've known for years, and it was again another a synchronicity, but not a synchronicity in my personal life, but just in general of the Matrix, Again, as we know, the serpents, the snakes, like I said, we know. When you look at a snake, obviously its tongue comes out, flickering, and they're, absorbing the particles of the air. What a snake then does, and this is part of the meditation, pushes their tongue to the roof of their mouth. Now, if you Google this, or whatever search engine, the organ inside a snake's mouth, so obviously if you press your tongue to the roof of your mouth, you just feel obviously the inside of your mouth. They've got a gland and an organ, so as their forked tongue comes out and goes back in and goes, it tickles the inside of the mouth. That organ is called Jacob's organ, or something like that. If you do your research, bro, you'll see I'm right. And I've done this off the dome. I wanted to quickly Google that, and I'll Google it after, but I know it's correct, Called the Jacob's organ. Now, staying on that train of thought, what's the anecdote we always hear? The energy, you're climbing Jacob's ladder, the 33 vertebrae in your spine, It's all, saying the same points, But that's a quick little thing that I figured out in my mind of, that's why you press your tongue to the roof of your mouth, because again, that Kundalini energy, awaken the serpent, awaken the cobra, because obviously it'd be the head of the cobra that opens up. Again, that's going to be in Hindu and other Indian religious symbolism, And again, this is why, like you see the snake charmers and whatnot. Again, I don't want to get off topic. I'm going to keep it running because I understand, I've got a lot to quickly get through. Again, if you understand, cool. If you was to pull your your brain and your spinal cord out of your body, not only would it just look like a plate of spaghetti and meatballs that would just splat on the floor, and obviously, as we know, you need your skeleton to hold it up, and as we know, bones, muscles, all of that to keep me upright right now, and I'm not just collapsed in a puddle on the floor. Cool. So staying on that train of thought, what animates that is obviously the electric signals running through the currents. That is why humans can get electrocuted, because obviously we conduct the electricity, part of the Matrix anyway. Cool. As I'm saying, what was my point for that? There we go, for your central nervous system that is obviously working through your body. So when we're talking about raising the energy through the breath work and the meditation, because you're making a conscious effort to do so, like I said, it's almost like if that's your spinal cord inside your vertebrae, as we're doing the breath work, it's almost like we're sending that ripple effect up, and it's literally raising it up. Cool. I'm going to get to what's behind me, because I want to start to get through that, and then I'll come back to some of the things. Again, just with the SR quickly, if you're constantly draining the energy, and as I've said in a previous video, this is one thing I figured out, it's literally your cerebrospinal fluid. Okay, cool, women have it, which is again another reason why celibacy is a lot easier for women. No shade, whatever. But it's easy to just keep your leg closed rather than, as a man, not be, and as we know with the wet dreams and all that. So cool, let me keep it going. That's what I was about to say. That is why old people start to get more and more crooked, because I'm not saying they're busting nuts all the time, because as we know, eventually they get to a point where they're not even thinking sexually, obviously, right? but their body's broken down. And it's all well and good thinking, yeah, man, in your 20s, in your 30s, and maybe in your 40s, because life begins at 40, partying, eating shit food, literally just playing around in the matrix. Yeah, we know how that goes, breaking your body down, degeneratism, whatever. And the dehydration epidemic, which I might get to later in the video. I'm going to get to the tantra, let me make a mental note of that. But cool, first my notes behind that, I'm going to do my best to do this. I'm like a teacher, and all, with the lighting, and we'll go from there. So, first and foremost, I understand the camera's going to flip this, so I'll do my best to line it up. Imagine that is the ultimate source of creation, a big eyeball, yeah, whether you want to call it God, the universe, or whatever. That very badly done cube, we could call the matrix, and that's you. See that stick man right there, yeah? There's the portal, which is touching each one of his chakra systems. But here again is the same chakra system, obviously 7, root, sacral, solar plexus, heart, throat, third eye, crown. Cool. Ultimate source creation, projecting through each one of those, projecting to animate someone inside the matrix. Now, obviously there's levels to it, as I've touched on in recent videos. Whatever exists external to this simulation, I genuinely am under the assumption we're in a simulation within simulation within simulations, yeah. But I'm not going to get onto that because that's off topic. Cool. Again, let me line this up and try not to get too much of a shadow effect. Hey man, we're base level things, but this is from the ground up, yeah? Let me try and get that line up. That's not too bad. Excuse as well, handwriting. Again, to me, these aren't just 7 spirals if you look at them on a flat plane. This is one thing I figured out, again, in my own mind, which we'll get to my illustration here with, obviously, the spirals of the chakra system. They're at different angles and different points. But if you imagine, quickly to just explain that really simply, imagine your toilet, horizontal, you lift the toilet seat up so it goes that way, that way, that way, that way. Ta-da, yeah? Kind of like a ladder, but not really, you get what I'm saying. If you imagine these, you can almost quantify this, and this links in with the cerebrospinal fluid, water, yeah? That's why you hear in the Bible there's waters up above and there's waters down below. Imagine these spirals, almost like if you've ever seen an old medieval, like a wagon wheel, what do you call it, that catches the water out of the river and it goes that way. So it's picking up scoops of the water and then it pours it out into the system and then the thing keeps going round and going round, yeah? We could almost think of that from the energy. So again, your root spiraling, then we go up a level with the sacral, then we go up a level with the solar plexus, then we go up a level to your heart, throat, third eye, crown. Again, where was I going with that point? So your root would obviously be the bottom, where obviously, you know, your lower centres are the end of your digestive system. Your sacral, again, my same analogy, because it's going that direction, because obviously as a man, yeah, and hey man, as they get older and older, the angle starts to go, doesn't it, yeah? Then your solar plexus is essentially the fascia of your diaphragm. So as we know from our fellow martial artists, what happens when we see people get hit in the solar plexus or in the liver? Yeah, they crumble, because what's happening is the oxygen is getting punched from getting hit in a certain area, so that contraction happens, so your lungs, all the air gets pushed out, and if you time it when someone's on an inhale, the body still thinks it needs to exhale before it can inhale. So imagine you're like that, because we've all been winded at some point, yeah? Because again, the body needs to quickly recalibrate. But those quick seconds, alongside being in pain, alongside probably being fighting someone or in some scenario, yeah? Obviously that's where people panic and crumble and whatnot. Cool, I'll keep it going because I could see that the light's going a bit down. That's obviously a quick spinal cord. That's, again, snakes and ladders. Very rudimentary drawings. Now, let me get to my main one. I'll move shoes out of the way, sorry. I'm going to just start going straight into it. Cool. A very rudimentary, this is, you know, we'll call him Bob, sat down on a chair or on the edge of your bed. We've got your root chakra, into your sacral, so again, it's angling that direction. That's really badly done intestines, I'm going to get to that. That's really badly done lungs. Your solar plexus, again, above your digestive system. So as you know, when you do the big belly breaths, you're putting the pressure on your digestive system. This is why you might find yourself burping. You might find yourself coming out with flatulence. Same with that yoga pose, because again, you're crouching down, and as you breathe in, again, you're pushing everything down. That intra-abdominal pressure. Quick little analogy, like same with hydration. This bottle's not got a lot left. If I squeeze this bottle, yeah, nothing really happens to the water. Whereas this one that's full, yeah, I'm not going to do it too hard because I don't want it to spray everywhere. But if I squeeze that hard enough, again, because there's more fluid in here, don't let that go over your heads with the semen retention, lads, yeah? Easier for it to get higher, yeah? I hope that made sense, because I realised that was like 10 seconds for what I initially thought might be a little bit longer. Cool, let me keep it going with Bob, yeah? We're breathing, so the pressure of your belly breaths is going to be pushing onto your solar plexus, part of your diaphragm, fully filling your lungs to the point where that cerebrospinal fluid that's going all the way up, more and more pressure is getting pushed. Say I'm breathing this way, pushed that way, and as you align your spine, and I've done a little arrow as well that Bob needs to tuck his chin a little bit more because man's got a big back brook on his head. But anyway, that's obviously your third eye. That's why we see that symbolism. That's obviously your brain. Notice how your brain and your intestine / digestive system look so similar. Throat chakra, third eye going pyong, crown chakra bursting out, yeah, and then obviously there's a pretty badly drawn cobra. I'm going to get to that last picture in a bit as well. As I'm saying, full inhalation, sitting, this is why I say sitting at the edge of the bed, because it's just easy angle because you can align your spine, yeah. Again, the natural curve of your spine as well in your lower back. This is a quick little anecdote from Josh's life. This is when I realised the way I'm training with the bodybuilding, and I love it, and I love being able to deadlift 180 kilo, 4 plates, yeah. What's that, 405 pounds for my Americans, yeah. And being big boy bodybuilder, strong, but then getting all that pressure and that tightness in my lower back. So then I couldn't even like flex my lower back without it pinging and firing. I feel like I had like a slip disc or a hernia or something. That's when I was realising, okay, bro, I can't keep neglecting the stretching. This is slightly before and then after I started Muay Thai the first time. Because obviously I stopped all of that. I'm not going to get into my story just now. But again, it was like, I need to get into the stretching. And it all goes hand in hand. And it again goes hand in hand with your diet. I'm going to leave that for later in the video because I don't want to keep dragging it on a bit. I want to get to that last illustration there. And then we'll go from there. Like I said, just quickly with that anecdote of your lower back. You want to almost, we're not completely rounding it, but you're sitting upright, letting your hips kind of relax a little bit, but still sitting tall, yeah. Tucking your chin. Imagine if I do this side on, yeah. So obviously instead of being like that or like that, you want to almost be tucking your chin like this. Yeah, I hope that was kind of obvious. And again, you'll feel all this pressure in different areas. This is again, like I said, one thought that clicked in my mind, bruv, is FJTV was the real inception of the thought of this YouTube channel. Was late in the evening, I'm on the semen retention, and I know it's a daily battle, daily practice. I'm going to the gym, I'm training hard, exercise, yeah, big boy, blah, 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 blah. Whether I was doing the martial arts at the time or otherwise, going through all this spiritual stuff with the meditation, trying to really like give me all the wisdom. I don't care how hard the pill to swallow is with the truth, and all of these practices. And then in the evening, all the insights, sometimes having caffeine in the system, sometimes not. As I said, it all goes hand in hand. And then I was just getting thought after thought after thought, and it was like my brain is going a million miles an hour, and I'm like, oh my God, I need to write this shit down. Then obviously I was like, bro, I need to start fucking making YouTube videos because I can help my fellow brothers. Obviously, again, repping the brand today in the gym. Weren't you wearing that this morning in the YouTube shot you just done from your workout this morning, Josh? Maybe, yeah. I'm going to have a cold shower in a sec. That's another thing that helps with the cold showers, yeah. Because again, everything, yeah. Vasoconstriction, your blood vessels and your veins, arteries and capillaries shrinking, all the blood rushing to your vital organs, because obviously it's survival mode. But when you nasal breathe and you focus here, sometimes you really do feel a pressure here with the cold showers, and it's almost like because that water's hitting your head and yeah. But then obviously, like I said, we don't hyperventilate. It's I apologise, a little bit of snot just went on my lip then, you know, There we go. This is showing that the videos, you know, we're still professional, but you get me. Cool. My ear popped as I did that. I'm going to go over the last illustration. That's 20 minutes. That's more than long enough. I'm going to upload this, cold shower. Then we go from there. Last little bit. So again, this is also Bob as well. So when Bob is there with his third eye, and that's his mind, and those are his eyeballs, and he's got a big smile on his face because he's watching the TV, yeah? The television. I drew kind of an old style TV with the antenna with the electric signal. But it's showing him, and then in his mind is what's on the TV, yeah? That's cool. But when he locks off the TV, and he closes his eyes, and he goes into his internal world, and his third eye is showing him, what do I want in my mind? And then he's projecting it out onto the matrix, onto the grid, onto the Rubik's Cube, because that's what the matrix is, yeah. I apologise if you can hear me stepping on like plastic and stuff. It's because I put down things so I can have the shoes inside in the house after wearing them outside. Cool. Last little bit, and then I'll touch on the tantra if there's time, and then we'll go from there. There we go, that kind of popped my ear. It's a joke I made to my boy the other day as well, because we went into a shop, obviously to get some drinks and stuff, and some food. And they'd changed the layout of the aisles, and I literally said out loud to him, as a woman, I'm not going to call her an NPC, but you know, when they literally just sort of walk through you, and it's like, oh no, excuse me, after you, my darling, yeah. But out loud, I said, oh shit, the Matrix is the little Rubik's Cube shuffled again. And obviously he just laughed because he knows what I'm like, yeah, when I make my jokes like that. But I meant it literally, bro, because one thing that I figured out, and I'll mention the film, it's not Doctor Strange, Doctor Sleep. It's meant to be a sequel to The Shining. I'll get to that, yeah. Imagine the Matrix. I've only got one hand free, but like when you see people doing a Rubik's Cube really quickly, and it's multicoloured, and again, the colours of the chakra systems, like we talked about already in the video, that I know you already know, yeah. Imagine it's constantly shuffling, yeah. That's the Matrix going, constantly. Oh, what's that? You think you figure something out? Well, brr, yeah, we'll keep it going. Oh, you trying to live your life this way? Okay, yeah, we'll just keep it going, whatever. Constantly learning because it's part of the AI system, that it feeding on your energy. Give me all the data, yeah. This is why, as I saw, 22, yeah. I seen 11 earlier, but I didn't mention it. This is why, again, as we know, when if you want to talk about God consciousness, again, whatever mouth noise you need to hear. And you already know, again, we're casting spells. That's why it's spelling. That's why your words have power. That's why Bruce Lee said, don't ever speak about yourself negatively, even as a joke, because your body doesn't know the difference, yeah? Speak it into existence. And then if you want to talk about law of attraction, keyword action, walk towards it, yeah? Like we seen with Bob behind me, yeah? When he turned the telly off and he went in here, see people walking outside the house anyway. He goes in here with these eyes closed, again alongside the breath work and the meditation, because you really want that DMT release. And like I said, it's almost like I go underwater and then I'm fucking through the log flume, all the colours. Sometimes I see the grid system and it's all these flashing colours. That's why, bro, back in 2022, I said it facetiously, but when I said, bro, I see the green zeros are the ones of the Matrix, I see the pixels, and I'm not even mincing my words, but if I look at the wall, if I focus and stare for long enough, not only do I see a sort of ball of light, which I know is coming from your third eye, but it's literally just like the stars in the night sky, like twinkling dots, bro. And I know that sounds crazy to some people. Obviously, my vision, you know, what is it, 20/20 vision? I was going to say 10/10. I know I've got good vision. And again, when I do my meditation and the breath work in nature, and I do sit there and focus, and it's almost like I say to myself, bro, I am literally like, when you see these chimpanzees or these gorillas in nature, or even like a lion or a tiger or a jaguar or an anaconda, because I'll quickly get to that in a second if I remember. And it's like you could quickly focus on stuff. You'll hear something, you'll pinpoint where it is, you'll know exactly where to look. If you kind of relax your vision, you'll see in your peripheral the movement, maybe like a bird or a squirrel in a tree, and you'll quickly be able to lock onto it. And sometimes as well, you see the animals sort of quickly look at you, and they're sort of, yeah. One thing I was going to say, like I said, with the anacondas, and I said this in my voice note to my fellow brother earlier today. If you look at a snake's life cycle, again, specifically anacondas, I know some snakes are venomous instead of constrictors, but essentially all it's doing 90% of the time is just meditating. All it's doing is breathing. And animals are a lot better at nasal breathing than humans for obvious reasons. Some obviously pant, obviously dogs are, we know that, yeah? That'd be quite funny for some people for no reason. But anyway, but if you really deep it, a snake is essentially just there, poised, going about its business. Okay, cool, yeah. You could talk all day long about low vibration and predator versus prey, which is again is part of this matrix system, because what loving God at the highest level would make a system where a lion, a pride of lions, is going to tear open a wildebeest, maybe even a pregnant one, and rip that fetus out of it, blood and guts and fluids all over it, yeah? If you've seen a leopard eating, they'll eat the digestive system, and the way they eat this intestine and the shit's flying out of it, brother, it's disgusting. But the animal's not thinking, ooh, doo-doo. The animal's just like, it's food, I'm not wasting it, yeah? Again, I could talk all day long about the nature stuff. I've talked about it in plenty of other videos. Some of the videos are now on my Patreon. Quickly with the Tantra, yeah, for my brothers. This is, again, like I said, the levels to the SR game, yeah. It isn't just bottling it up like you're holding a piss. You really are sending the energy to your higher centres. You really can transmute the lust. But then you're still here, bro. And you don't have to be celibate for the rest of your life. You don't have to be one of these monks or one of these people that's like, oh, I'm never having sex ever again. Brr. You can if you want. Do what you want, because, again, you make the rules. You choose this, bro, yeah? Like I always say. But if you know what I know and you see what I see, and again, the links with nature, bro. And I'm not going to get too off topic and deep. Let me talk about the Tantra and then we'll go from there. Cool. So if I'm retaining and I'm using the, yeah, like I did in my illustration, but if you understand anatomy, that's why it's Fitness Journeys, that's why it's FJTV, Fitness Journeys TV. I'm telling you my vision, like the TV analogy. Fitness Journeys. Of course, it would take a big man over here to bridge the gap between exercise, training, nutrition. Oh, and we're back on the martial arts. Oh, and I'm on the spiritual stuff. Oh, and I can link